Are you married or in a committed relationship looking for real advice on having love and enriching your relationship? You are in the right place. Welcome to The Couples Expert with Stuart Fensterheim.
Hi, welcome to the Couples Expert podcast. I'm Stuart Fensterheim, the Couples Expert. We've all heard about happy endings, the fairy tale happy ever after, how true love wins. Love conquers all. It can all sound a bit trite on the surface, but in my office, I practice every day real life experiences of real people who can truly win at love. They truly have a relationship in the real world of where love truly conquers all. I know it can sound a bit trite on the surface, but in my office and in my practice, I have real experiences that tell me that deep down, true love can win. Love can conquer everything, and that the power of two connected people in love who are really united with the same purpose can be victorious and successful in life together. It truly can be your superpower. The caveat is this: you both have to want it. You both have to work for it and recognize that you're so much better and stronger together than alone. When you take the time, make the effort, and do the work, there's really a power there that can transcend you both as individuals and make you even more strong, dynamic, and capable as a couple than you ever thought you could be as an individual. The power of a bonded couple and family can't be underestimated. And if you grew up in a family like this, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, I want you to pay attention here, because I'm going to take you on a magical mystery ride. It really is a mindset of you and me, or more importantly, us, against everyone else in the world. Not that you're making war with anyone, but it's that feeling that you get that you've got a crew, a support system, a confidant, a teammate who knows you better than anyone does and understands you on a deeper level than anyone can, and loves you beyond measure, with all of your faults, the good, the bad, the ugly, and they love all of it. Having this level of devotion to one person puts you in another league when it comes to facing off against the challenges that life throws your way. You have the strongest emotional connection possible, and that bond has you both feeling loved and important to one another, and gives you that confidence that you and your partner really can face and conquer anything as long as you do it together. It's the confidence that having a partner who has your back gives you, that thing that makes the combination of the two of you as a couple so powerful. If you don't have that confidence, that's where doubt and fear comes in. Worry, anxiety, second-guessing, and suspicion that can all lead to a conflict in your relationship. If you doubt that your partner is going to be there for you when you need them, or they feel they cannot count on you, there's no unity and no true bond of connection. Even if you hope your partner will have your back, but they never demonstrated it, you won't have that confidence. This is not the time when you just hope it's got to be that way. You have to know that it's that way. You have to be so confident and so self-assured in the fact that your partner will show up when you need them to, and that each of you are really going to be there for each other. It's during times of stress, challenge, conflict, or crisis when you really put to the test. When you're hurt or ill, when there's a death or an accident, someone you love is in danger, or you have an emotional crisis. You have to know that your partner will come alongside you and be whatever you need in that moment. A friend, a shoulder to cry on, a protector, the level-headed one, a decision maker, just to be there for what you need. No matter what, you can count on them to be that person for you. And that any problem that you have can truly be managed if the two of you are doing it together. It's all about the connection. Keeping your emotional connection strong in the day-to-day living that you do taking the time to acknowledge each other as being that one thing that makes your world better, that makes your life worth living. No matter what comes up, it's not going to throw you. It's not going to tear you apart. The best example I have for this, and I've talked about this before, is my daughter, Sarah. Sarah, who's now 22. And the thing about Sarah, the thing that is so wonderful, is that we never thought that she would live longer than 7 weeks. At first, there was a diagnosis of chromosome 13, which we were told that at birth, she would live about 7 weeks and then die. My wife at the time and I were devastated. But the relationship we had really got us through those rough times. That time of wondering, what are we going to do? We even had someone tell us that we might want to consider aborting her because we knew about this prenatally, and we chose not to do that. We believed that we could handle this no matter what happened. And lo and behold, when she was born with some medical issues, but nothing that devastating. But the two of us and the love that we had for one another kept us strong. It kept us believing every single day upon the delivery of my daughter, Sarah. We believed that we could handle whatever the doctors said to us. We could handle the stress of it because we weren't alone. And this is the power of that kind of relationship. You know, the crisis that you hear about tearing a couple apart, and then you hear about other couples that moment of crisis brought themselves together. But what's the difference between that one couple and the other couple? It's the fact that they've done the work to make sure that their relationship is bonded and emotionally connected by being authentic and vulnerable and making sure that the two of you are in this world doing it as a couple. This episode is sponsored by Stuart's Daily Notes. Stuart's Daily Notes is an email newsletter from the couples expert that will improve your marriage in 5 minutes a day. Small things can have a big impact on your relationship over time. Sign up for Stuart's Daily Notes. It's a resource of tools, videos, exercises, and more. All done by the couples expert, Stuart Fensterheim, with 30 years of clinical experience working with couples. Delivered straight to your inbox. The best part about it, it's free. Sign up today. Go to www.thecouplesexperts.com and change your relationship every single day of your life together. Now back to the episode. It really is the little things that you say and do every single day. The time you spend with your partner building your relationship. The time you spend together resolving the differences and cementing that emotional bond that allows you both to have that certainty that you're there for one another. That security that your partner is the one, no matter what, and that they will be there for you when you need them, and that there's no doubt about that. When those seas turn rough and the storms come, you and your partner can weather it together. This relationship does not necessarily come easy. For some, it's a bit easier than for others. And when it's magical, when the two of you have done the work and that connections happen, there's nothing better than that. You and your partner, however, are going to have to put in the work. You have to learn what it's going to take each of you to get your needs met in the relationship. What is it that makes you feel loved and important? How do you show respect and appreciation to each other? How do you meet each other's emotional needs? It's not always something that just happens automatically. I would suggest it rarely happens that way. It takes dedication and devotion to studying your partner like you would study a new language. You have to study your partner and learn all about them. Learn what makes them tick. Learn what triggers them. Find out how they grew up and how they were shown affection by their parents and caregivers. Were they shown affection? Is affection a rare thing that they experienced growing up? That might tell you that they need more affection than most. Find out what their communication style is. Learn about them on all levels. You have to dedicate yourself to that learning about your partner, not just their favorite food or music or sports teams and all that superficial stuff, but learn about them. That's how you build a great connection and an unbreakable bond. On the flip side, you also have to allow yourself to be known. This means you have to open up to your partner enough to allow them to access all this information about you, to be authentic, to be vulnerable, to let them see you raw, to give them that authentic self that you know that they need to know. You can't keep up walls and the protection that so many of us have to keep from getting hurt. You have to let your partner in, to trust them enough to risk everything emotionally for that great and powerful love that we're talking about. This can't be a one-sided connection. That's not a connection. A connection takes two ends coming together. That's the kind of connection we need. It requires both of you to want it, to work for it, and to demonstrate it. First in the small things, and then when it really counts, your powerful love will be able to overcome anything in life that comes and challenges you. You will be that power couple people talk about, the one that can withstand any challenge and weather any storm, and is always smiling and laughing, and you don't understand how they get through it. They have a really sick child and they're cracking each other up. Conflict? Yes, they have conflict, but the conflicts that they have never tear them apart. These conflicts are typically resolved in calm ways because they both truly know how important they are to one another. You and your partner, with your understanding of each other's communication style and emotional needs, can diffuse any kind of disagreement easily before it escalates. You'll know when your partner is triggered and what they need to feel better about things, and you'll do that for each other. You don't hold on to resentments, and forgiveness is easy. There will be no question in either of your minds that you have that relationship that really is ready for anything. And never, ever, ever is there ever a time that the talking stops, that there's silent treatment, that people aren't talking. You both come at this saying, we have to talk about this. We have to resolve it because we won't let our relationship deteriorate in that way. So what I urge all of you, start today, right now. Start where you are with yourself. Notice I didn't say start with your partner. It's a foolish idea to think you can change someone. So first you need to work on you. You need to change yourself. See where you are in your relationship and begin there. Start to do the studying that I was just talking about, to learn your partner's attachment needs. Find out where you're lacking in doing this and make a change. Start small. Become more reliable, more dedicated to your partner and to your great love as a couple. Show love more in different ways. Be there when your partner needs you in the small things. Show appreciation for your partner. Compliment them. Give them true comments about how much they mean to you. And do it daily, every single day, even if you're upset with them. You need to strengthen your connection. Talk, 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 talk. Talk about everything that matters to you and everything that matters to them. I had a couple in my office the other day and we were talking about date nights. And I believe very much in date nights. What I heard from both of them is that they rarely do things together because they don't like the same things. She asks him to go and see chick flicks and he refuses. He asks her to do action movies and do bungee jumping and things that he likes, and she refuses. Think about that. Refusing, that is absolutely have to be off the table. You never refuse to do something your partner says to you that they truly want from you. And then here's the key. They were asking each other to do it together, to share it. And yet there was a refusal in that. Think about that for a minute. Your partner turns to you and says, I want to spend time with you. And you say no. How outrageous is that? Don't shoot yourself in the foot like that. It's not about the activity. It's about doing it as a couple. It's about sharing that experiences. Do you disagree with me? Tell me what happens in your relationship. Send me an email at Stuart@theCouplesExperts and talk to me about what happens that has it being a challenge for the two of you to really do that together. I will send you an email back. I promise you. I want to be that go-to person that the two of you can talk about these things with and get some real-world advice. So I look forward to hearing from some of you. Do you disagree with me? Do you disagree with each other? Great. Why great? Because that means you have an opportunity to explore more about why your partner feels differently than you do. Remember, you're not trying to change your partner, rather to know and understand them in a deeper way so that you can find out how to love them better. The world would be a very boring place if we all felt the same and agreed on everything. The power of your love connection comes from your willingness to be there, to be present for your partner in all the ways that they need you to be. It's a really big commitment, and when you do it, it's a really meaningful thing. If you're not able to do that, why are you together? What I mean by that is so many couples don't talk about some of these things ahead of time, before you get married. They talk about when there's a podcast like this, or they talk about it when they saw a video or read a book or an article. I think these are conversations that need to happen before you get married. When you're creating your deep, authentic love, that's when you should be talking about this. You can change it now, even if you didn't do it then, by taking a step today. One step. It is a big deal to have someone who makes you that important in their world. And it can be a little overwhelming sometimes to be loved that completely, especially if it's not happening now. But make it a priority to change your relationship right now, today, to be that person for your partner. Turn to your partner and tell them that's a commitment that you have, that the two of you work together on doing that. I hope some of you listen to these podcasts together and that you talk about these issues. You talk about what you need and you talk about what it's going to take to create that kind of love. I am always in awe of the couples that listen to this podcast, because what I ask of all of you is to truly be courageous, because there's a lot of people out there who are so afraid of developing a strong connection, because that means they have to be accountable. That means they have to be authentic. I tell you it's worth every step of the way. There's nothing to fear in that kind of love. It really does, though, take your relationship to a greater level where the two of you become unified and become so much stronger for having this connection. The analogy that comes to mind for me is the analogy of a string. Now, think about this. When you have a single thin piece of string, it can easily be broken and torn apart. Take two of those strings and wind them together, and they become stronger, more resilient, and harder to break. The same is true of your relationship. Take one person without the partner, no nurturing, no love, no physical intimacy, no emotional support, no emotional connection, and now at a crisis. That person, that relationship can easily be broken. Now pair that person with another person who understands, has respect, compassion, and a great love for each other, and that the two of them really feel together, and that being together makes you feel so much stronger, greater, and more flexible and resilient to face the challenges in your lives. You won't recognize yourselves. Your connection grows through all of these day-to-day acts of love, respect, and compassion that you show to each other. When you have someone who cares for you, you feel secure, confident, and important. This gives you a feeling that the two of you can take on the world. So you go ahead and do that starting now. Build that love, that emotional connection with your partner, so that the two of you can really feel that it's you and me against the world, and you're going to win. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me again this week. Next week, we'll be having on our show a friend of mine, Corey, who's going to be talking about finances and relationships. Take care now, stay connected, and be good to one another. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. This episode has ended, but your journey continues. Head over to www.thecouplesexperts.com to access all the links and resources mentioned in this episode, as well as bonus content exclusive to podcast listeners. Enjoyed this episode? Why not hit subscribe now and never miss an episode?